Thanks, Michael.
You bet. Okay, so we got you covered down there at the courthouse. So when things happen, we, of course, will bring that to you. In the meantime, we're going through some of the amazing testimony from the last 6 weeks. Let's go back. I mean, it seems like so long ago. Let's go back to the very first witness to take the stand. It was Johnny Depp's sister, Christy Dombrowski. She covered a multiple number of topics, including, and this became very important as the case unfolded, Johnny Depp's relationship with his mother.
Did your mother ever get angry at Johnny?
Yes.
Did you ever observe your mother hitting Johnny?
Yes.
How, if at all, did Johnny react when his mother would hit him?
He was a typical little boy where if it hurt, he would cry. That was it. I mean, for the most part, you just wanted to get away from it.
Did Johnny ever hit his mother back?
No.
What about when he got to be an older boy? Did he ever resist or hit her back?
No. No. When he was older, even if she hit or threw things, he never went to that place. He would get away. He would, leave the area, go to his room.
If you could explain that a bit, how did, if at all, did your experience with your mother affect your ideas about what you intended to do with your own family?
Well, really early on, as a young child, none of what was happening in our home felt good. And so as I got older, both Johnny and I actually, we decided that once we had our own home, that we were never going to repeat ever anything similar in any way to our childhood. We were gonna do it different.
So Johnny felt the same way?
Absolutely.
So as I'm watching Johnny Depp's sister, the first thing I'm thinking is, man, she seems normal. Because she's not quite as not as Johnny Depp. So Ann Bremner, good way to start this presentation of the Depp case. What do you think?
I think it was really brilliant. I mean, that's where the sympathy came for Johnny Depp in this case. I mean, he's an icon. People love him. He's invincible, like you see on TikTok and everything else. And he's just been a genius in his films. But we saw that kind of humble, vulnerable, childlike side of him that was really part of this case. It explained why he stayed, why he hid, and why he was coming forward now. So I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's kind of eased us into the whole process and really did lay an important foundation. Hey, Mark, hold on just a second here. I'm going to cover some more Johnny Depp testimony, and then we'll talk right after we watch this. Here we go, more Johnny Depp at trial.
Mr. Depp, what have you learned from your experience in your childhood and observing your father in your childhood?
I learned that I was wrong about my first impressions of his exit from the family. Very wrong. And I'll tell you one thing that I learned that was one of the best lessons I believe I've ever learned in my life, ever could learn in my life, was based on my experiences as a child and what I'd seen and experienced. I knew exactly how to raise children when my girl Vanessa got pregnant. I knew exactly how to raise children, which was to do the opposite of what they did, of what Betty Sue did. Never raise your voice in front of the children, never. Screaming out the word no to them. I never wanted to tell my kids no. I wanted to tell them that I wanted to show them that there were options. You don't have to stick the coat hanger in the electrical socket. You know, saying no is an abrupt thing, but to talk to them and say, if you understand the repercussions of something, then you won't go there. So maybe think about this as opposed to this. Give this some thought, you know. But that will clearly, that could kill you.
Again, Johnny Depp giving us a sense of his background and what he dealt with and maybe helped him with his own kids. Mark Weaver, how do you think this plays with the jury? Does it give him a little warmer, fuzzier feel? Yet they don't know yet what's to come, but what do you think?
Probably. Well, my first point would be if I were the judge, I would have likely sustained an objection based on relevance to some of that. Mm-hmm. This is a defamation trial, but that's okay. They didn't make it. Judges typically will not sustain objections unless they're made. But I think it does certainly humanizes him to the jury. That's fine. What was interesting is Amber Heard's lawyers in their closing tried to use Johnny Depp's definition of abuse, which he talked about what happened in his life with his mother, and tried to use that definition for what happened with him and Amber. There was a bit of sleight of hand there. Domestic violence is a crime, and we have a definition for it in state laws, but emotional abuse, mental abuse, nearly every married couple could claim that they have had mental or emotional abuse if there was an argument. So there was a bit of a sleight of hand with the Amber Heard's lawyer suggesting that all they were showing was that there was abuse in the marriage, when the op-ed was really about domestic violence, which is a cognizable, recognizable crime.
Yeah, what's very interesting is when we look at the special verdict form, we can tear into this in greater detail. But of the three statements, one is that headline that specifically references violence. The other two, not so much. The other two, you might be able to make an argument that it was some other form of abuse short of violence. And that could mean bad things for Johnny Depp. So let's take a quick break here, guys. Stay where you are. We'll come back with more as the Depp-Heard jury continues to deliberate, pushing into the 7th hour now. We'll be right back.